What is up, guys? Today's going to be 4004 test 17. Today's August 4th, 2014, and I've got a pretty cool test for you guys today. In 4004 test 16, I showed you guys the second device that I decided to buy with my birthday money, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the other device that I bought, the first one. I was having a lot of problems with it, and I had to do a lot of stuff to it before, but it's finally ready to go now. So, without further ado, here it is. Ta-da! This is a Simplex 4051 horn on a 4050-80 light plate, and this is a pretty highly sought after item by tons of fire alarm enthusiasts, just because these things are so old, rare, and just difficult to find. I got it for $32 off eBay plus $8 shipping. The guy had 4 of them for sale. I did have a few problems with the eBay transaction overall. The seller had quite a few mistakes. First of all, in the ad, this was listed as a 4050-85 light plate, but I know this is not a 4050-85 because this is the dual bulb version. Or the 4050-85 has 2 bulbs. It's the dual bulb version and has a flasher unit on the back, which this one does not have. So I have determined this is only a 4050-80 light plate. And so yeah. The second thing is that, so besides that being wrong, there were some condition issues I had with this thing. The seller did not mention any writing on them or anything or any cracking, but that's exactly what I found on this thing. First of all, there's an X written on the bottom of the lens, probably showing that it was in some way defective, and it kind of was when I got it, but I will get to that in just a minute. There are also 2 fair-sized cracks on either side of the lens on the inside, which I was not too impressed with. And also the seller packaged this thing very poorly, and when it came to me in the mail, it was moving around freely in the box, which I was not too impressed with. So the seller, I told this to the seller. He said he usually doesn't offer refunds, but he refunded me $8 for the shipping, which was kind of nice. Even though I paid $32 for it, he refunded me $8 for the shipping, which was kind of nice, as I just said. I appreciated that. The seller did mention in the description, though, that all 4 of them that he was selling would need their bulbs replaced. And the bulb that was in this one was a GE 130 volt bulb right here. I don't know why they had a 130 volt bulb in there. I don't get it when the horn is 24 volts, but they did have this 130 volt bulb in there. So I got in contact with someone on eBay, or on YouTube. His name is Riley Dilly, I think that's his name, and he bought the same device from the same guy on eBay, and his had a 30 volt bulb in it. It was a 6S6/30 bulb. He told me to get that because that was the one that was in his, and that one would probably work best. So I decided to go online, and I picked up a 6S6/30 volt bulb. That's what's in here now, and it seems to work just fine with the 4004 because it's 30 volts, and the 4004 puts out 24 volts DC. As soon as I got the bulb in here, it finally came. I put the bulb in here, and I discovered that it still didn't work. I tested it off the 4004's backup batteries, and the light on it still didn't work, and I couldn't figure out why. So we tested it. We tested both the light bulb and the socket with a voltage meter, and both were fine. So we determined that a small piece of metal inside the socket was not making contact with the light bulb. There was a small piece of metal inside the socket that was bent a bit out of place and was not making contact with the light bulb for whatever reason. So we took a pair of needle nose pliers and we bent that piece up a little bit, and now it is making contact with the light bulb, and it does work now. That's probably why they put that X here on the bottom. I'm not sure if they put that on right before they took this off the system it was installed on or whatever, but that was probably to show that it was defective and that piece of metal was bent. But I got it fixed now. After we got that going, I decided to wire it up to the 4004, and the 4004, it kept giving me my knack trouble, even though I had a resistor on, and that's when I found out about polarization. and that I had to polarize this to get it to work, and that's something that I didn't know before. With these older devices, you have to polarize them to get them to work with these newer panels, because that's how the next supervision works on these panels. So basically, all I had to do was I had to go to Radio Shack. This afternoon. I took my bike to Radio Shack, and I picked up a I believe the model is 1S4001 diode. So here's my wiring setup here. I picked up a diode, and let me go ahead and show you guys my wiring setup here. That black thing there, as soon as the camera focuses in, there it goes. That's the diode right there. How I did this is, like, one of the two black wires coming out of the socket goes into the banded end, the gray end of the diode. The other end of the diode goes into the positive NAC out on the panel, and then the other black wire on the socket just goes into the negative NAC on the panel. So at first that was a bit confusing to me, but I finally got it down, and I got it going. So and then that's also tied into the horn. So yeah, I finally got this thing going. You know, it was a big hassle. You know, it was quite a few days to get it going, but I finally did get it going. So I think we're gonna go ahead and test this thing here. Let's see if I can get this kind of fixed. Now for these tests, I usually have the alarm leaned up against here, but because this is a the horn sounds better if it's not like vibrating up against a piece of like metal, so that's why I've got it on the floor today. I've got the 4004 coded slow march time, which is 20 beats per minute, I believe. The 4004 and a lot of the panels of today cannot produce the same like 2001 style coding that the 2001 panel had. And that's a bit of a shame, but 20 beats per minute is pretty much, you know, it's as close as we're gonna get, and it works. So with that being said, the light and the horn are tied together to NAC 1. I've still got the NAC 2 unhooked. So we're going to go ahead and test this. I've got the same pulse stations as the last test. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and test this. 3, 2, 1. Alright, it's silence. Let's go ahead and deactivate Zone 2 now. The institutional cover pulse station. Alright, reset the system here. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I thought that was pretty awesome. You know, tons of these devices are, you know, they're probably constantly being thrown out. There's, you know, there's probably some schools like left. You know, there's probably like a handful of like buildings in this country that still do have these, but for the most part, these are becoming very hard to find. And that's why I'm so happy to finally have one of these in my collection. So, thank you guys for watching, and I suppose for now, that'll be it.